For thousands of years, civilizations across the galaxy have discovered mysterious fragments, inscriptions etched into the crystalline ruins of extinct empires, holographic runes found beneath the crusts of dead worlds, and psionic echoes stored within sentient black holes. Though written in dozens of languages, one message resonates through them all: a prophecy of a final, cataclysmic war. This war, according to the texts, would not arise from the existing empires or the known conflicts of the galaxy, but from an outsider, a race from beyond the veil of silence. This veil refers to a vast expanse of uncharted space at the galactic rim, long thought empty due to its lack of detectable FTL signatures or beacons. Ancient starfarers feared it, believing it cursed or cloaked by unknowable forces. Over generations, the region faded from memory for most species, becoming a subject of myth, legend, or scholarly curiosity. But the prophecy remained, a haunting whisper passed down by mystic orders, historical archivists, and secretive councils. Among the most feared lines in the ancient texts are these: "When the stars align and the veil is pierced, the fireborn shall walk among the stars. They shall not conquer for greed or empire, but to burn the rot and reshape the sky. Their war shall not be of vengeance, but of revelation, and none shall remain unchanged." To some, these words were metaphorical. Others saw them as a warning to prepare. For the most secretive of all, like the Council of Thal and the archivists of Kenor, they were a dire truth, long misunderstood and always feared. Then it happens. Humanity, after centuries of isolation and internal strife, completes the first successful breach of hyperspace travel using quantum resonance tunneling. A small scout vessel, the ESS Odysseus, appears at the edge of the galactic network. It transmits peaceful greetings, data packets, and diplomatic requests. Within weeks, Earth's solar system lights up on long-range star maps, illuminating a region previously thought devoid of intelligent life. The shock is immediate. The galactic community, a tangled web of empires, federations, merchant leagues, and ancient isolationists, scrambles to respond. At first, humanity is met with cautious curiosity. The United Earth Directorate speaks in calm tones, offers cultural exchanges, and sends peaceful envoys. But not everyone is convinced. Within hidden chambers and classified databanks, the resemblance between Earth's emergence and the ancient prophecies grows more undeniable. Humans exhibit an uncanny alignment with the descriptions. They are descended from a world of fire and tectonics, capable of immense destruction but also rapid innovation. Their history is steeped in cycles of war, evolution, and reinvention. Even their biology is unlike anything seen, resilient, adaptable, and emotionally volatile. In particular, their ability to survive in hostile environments, their rapid technological growth, and their seemingly innate understanding of conflict mirror traits associated with the prophesied fireborn. In the Galactic Concord's secret meeting, convened beneath the icy moon Vilthros, the 11 dominant species debate humanity's arrival. The Varnathi scholars cite centuries of star charts and decoded glyphs that match Earth's emergence. The psychic Arvon seers report visions of worlds burning and skies shattering after glimpsing human thought during a diplomatic link. And, most damning of all, a long-lost artifact, the Oracle Shard of Selnatar, glows violently when a human diplomat enters its proximity. One fact becomes clear to many alien leaders: the prophecy isn't just being fulfilled, it's accelerating. Still, not all agree that humanity is a threat. Some argue that humans are merely a young species, eager and perhaps reckless, but not inherently dangerous. Others believe the prophecy is self-fulfilling. The galaxy's fear might provoke the very war they dread. But fear spreads faster than reason. Media across dozens of worlds begin speculating. News streams in the Drexari core call humans the flame of the end. Religious cults declare the fireborn have come to purify the galaxy. Civil unrest grows in several sectors as civilians panic. Rogue fleets prepare for preemptive strikes. Meanwhile, humanity remains unaware of the storm brewing behind the diplomatic facade. Back on Earth, The United Earth Directorate celebrates the successful establishment of relations with minor trade factions and begins planning for wider engagement. A few Earth-based scientists note the odd reactions from some alien representatives: nervous glances, withdrawn delegations, strange tests conducted during ambassadorial visits. But the pattern is unclear. In truth, humanity stands at the edge of a knife. Unbeknownst to Earth's leaders, certain galactic powers are already initiating covert surveillance missions. Probes are sent. Human networks are quietly infiltrated. A classified AI built by the Zolari Empire begins modeling the human threat. The conclusion it reaches after simulating countless war scenarios is chilling. Humanity will win more often than not, unless stopped early. Part 1 ends with a quiet scene. A human diplomat standing in awe beneath a massive alien archive points to a mural depicting stars falling into a burning sea. He asks what it means. The alien archivist, after a long pause, replies, "It means you were never supposed to be here." Humanity's entrance into the galactic stage is nothing short of extraordinary, with faster-than-light travel achieved through quantum resonance tunneling, a method no other species has mastered. Earth becomes an instant anomaly. Its emergence from the uncharted veil of silence confirms the worst fears of prophecy scholars and deepens the anxiety already rippling through the galactic community. The United Earth Directorate, UED, eager to establish peaceful relations and trade opportunities, sends a delegation to the Zolari Empire, one of the galaxy's oldest and most bureaucratically entrenched civilizations. The Zolari, a crystalline-based lifeform species, are known for their rigid adherence to protocol, cultural pride, and complex social hierarchy. Unfortunately, these traits make them particularly prone to misinterpretation, especially when confronted by human behavior, which is informal, adaptable, and emotionally expressive. The Earth delegation, led by Ambassador Rachel Kwan, arrives aboard the diplomatic cruiser ESS Horizon with carefully prepared cultural materials, gift exchanges, and symbolic gestures meant to demonstrate peace. However, from the start, tensions simmer beneath the surface. A handshake, intended as a simple human greeting, offends the Zolari host, who interprets physical contact as an act of domination. A human security officer yawns during a ceremonial speech, which is perceived as mockery. And worst of all, the presentation of Earth's technological schematics as a gesture of goodwill is seen by the Zolari as veiled arrogance, a sign that humans consider themselves superior. Then comes the tipping point. During a guided tour of the Zolari capital's orbital defense hub, a minor explosion, caused by a malfunction in a power relay, triggers an automated lockdown. Human systems, built to react quickly, interpret the lockdown as a hostile act. The Earth vessel's onboard AI, Athena, initiates emergency extraction protocols. A squad of Terran peacekeepers storms the facility to recover the delegation, believing their ambassadors to be under attack. The response is swift and devastating. Zolari security forces resist, not understanding the motive. In the chaos, shots are exchanged. One of the Zolari dignitaries is killed, a descendant of a ruling house. Within minutes, the ESS Horizon evacuates the diplomats and jumps to hyperspace. The entire event lasts 20 minutes. The consequences last forever. The Zolari declare it an unprovoked massacre. Their state media shows looped footage of humans in exosuits storming a sacred command post. Cries for vengeance echo through their empire. The story spreads faster than light across the galactic network. To most species, already primed by prophecy-laced fear, this is no longer a misunderstanding. It is the spark foretold. Humanity's attempts at explanation fall on deaf ears. The UED publishes internal logs, sensor data, and video records proving the incident was a defensive response to what they perceived as aggression. But cultural context is lost. The galaxy doesn't see a confused, panicked extraction. They see a rapid, coordinated assault followed by an unapologetic retreat. And it's not just the act, it's how the humans did it. Alien analysts begin dissecting the tactics used in the incident. The humans employed autonomous drone scouts, rapid jump contingency plans, adaptive communications jamming, and combat AI support, all executed within seconds. For many species whose militaries take hours to mobilize, the humans seem like predators, born for war. In the aftermath, several smaller powers sever ties with Earth. The Council of 10 Systems calls for a formal investigation into humanity's intentions. The Varnathi theocracy declares Earth the cinderborn of the stars and issues a holy mandate for preparation. Underground cults, which once murmured about the prophecy, now openly preach that the final flame has been lit. Some species attempt diplomacy. The Catal, a species of neural-linked philosophers, request further dialogue, but human responses are now more guarded. Earth recognizes that the galaxy has turned. Peace may still be possible, but it will no longer be assumed. For the first time in their history, humanity forms the Interstellar Strategic Defense Command, ISDC, a coalition of Earth's top military minds, AI architects, and Black Ops operatives. It operates in the shadows, preparing contingency plans for a galaxy that increasingly views Earth as a threat. Meanwhile, inside the galactic Concord, something far more secret is taking place. An ancient prophecy fragment, long stored in the deep vaults of the Arvon Seers, is retranslated using updated human linguistic models. The new interpretation sends shockwaves through the quiet chambers of power. The phrase previously read as, "They shall strike from afar without warning," is now more accurately rendered as, "They shall react with unthinking precision, shaped by 1,000 internal wars." It fits humanity perfectly. The galactic powers realize with mounting dread that the prophecy is not about deliberate conquest. It is about reflex. A species shaped by centuries of war, chaos, and rebuilding doesn't need to start a war. The galaxy simply has to press the wrong button, and humans will respond with the instincts of survivors, soldiers, and revolutionaries. Back on Earth, the public is confused. Most don't yet know how rapidly opinions are shifting. News outlets cover the Zolari incident as an unfortunate diplomatic failure. There are calls for improved cultural training. But in quiet rooms deep beneath Geneva and New Nairobi, military advisors and AI strategists whisper the truth. The galaxy is beginning to see Earth not as a potential ally, but as a foretold destroyer. The final scene of this part shows Ambassador Kwan standing in front of the Earth Senate, watching a secret recording from a Zolari transmission. The Fireborn have struck. The end war begins now. Kwan lowers her head and whispers, "We didn't start it, but now we have to survive it." Following the Zolari incident, the fragile trust between humanity and the galactic community collapses entirely. Attempts at diplomatic repair fail. Earth's every effort to clarify the event is interpreted through the dark lens of prophecy. For many, the ancient warnings have already come true. The Fireborn have appeared and war is inevitable. Behind closed doors, the galactic Concord, a sprawling alliance of over 200 species, convenes an emergency summit. Intelligence agencies share observations and intercepted transmissions, many confirming what the Zolari now declare openly. Humans cannot be trusted. The unsettling speed, coordination, and tactical aggression displayed during the embassy extraction are seen not as desperation, but as a glimpse into a deeply militarized mindset. Worse, recovered battle logs suggest a terrifying reality. The human forces weren't even elite units. They were standard security personnel, reacting instinctively. If that's what a baseline team can do under stress, what happens if humanity deploys its true military assets? Out of fear, a faction within the Concord forms a secret military pact called the Concord of the Last Light, dedicated to preparing for what many now call the End War. Their goal: containment and, if necessary, preemptive neutralization of Earth. Small fleets begin positioning near Terran-claimed space. Trade agreements dissolve. Embassies are quietly evacuated. And while humanity is not officially declared an enemy, It's clear a wall is being built around Earth, and the noose is tightening. Earth's awakening. Back on Earth, the United Earth Directorate, UED, senses the shift. Analysts report increasing surveillance, intercepted data siphons, and even sabotage attempts against Terran deep space platforms. Civilian scientists who once dreamed of galactic peace are being replaced by strategists and military planners. Earth doesn't want war, but its leadership understands that the galaxy does. In response, the UED activates a long-classified initiative known as Project Prometheus. Originally designed as a failsafe during the early development of faster-than-light, Travel Prometheus was humanity's plan for surviving a hostile galaxy. Now it becomes Earth's ace in the void. The initiative rolls out several classified technologies: quantum-shifting drones, autonomous AI-driven craft capable of adapting mid-battle, rewriting their core protocols in real time to counter enemy strategies. Neural battle networks. Command frameworks allowing human officers to link with AI advisors and rapidly process tactical options at speeds no alien species can match. The Forge Fleet. Modular capital ships equipped with orbital fabrication systems that can cannibalize local moons or asteroids to self-repair or evolve in the middle of a campaign. These technologies are not revealed publicly. Instead, humanity begins deploying them to secure and expand the Terran frontier, quietly establishing fortified outposts, mining colonies, and automated defense grids across resource-rich systems. Alien scouts and covert observers begin reporting back with increasing concern. They discover human colonies thriving on death worlds, planets that other species had long written off due to toxic atmospheres, seismic instability, or predatory megafauna. One observer from the Cythari Collective notes, "They do not merely survive in chaos, they build empires upon it." As fears mount, the Arvon Seers, a race of psionics who once held political neutrality, break their silence. They hold a galaxy-wide broadcast, displaying an ancient mental projection of the prophecy's end. In it, a blue-green world burns. With the energy of 1,000 stars, and a voice speaks, "They will not become what we feared, they already are." The Concord responds in reaction. The Concord of the Last Light accelerates its preparations. Fleet buildups begin. Joint military exercises are held. Worlds closest to Terran space start deploying planetary shields and deep-orbit kinetic deterrents. Propaganda spreads across Concord media streams, painting humanity as a cunning, evolving threat masquerading as a peaceful newcomer. Leaders of the Concord now believe war is inevitable, not because humans want it, but because their very nature makes peace impossible. 1,000 years of galactic balance, built on cautious diplomacy and stable technology, is threatened by a species that advances too quickly, thinks too differently, and reacts too violently. But the tipping point comes when Earth does something unprecedented. The ancient awakening on a remote, long-abandoned world known as Vorthon's Tomb, human explorers uncover a derelict artifact, a monolithic construct believed to be the remnants of a precursor civilization older than any known empire. The planet had been sealed off by galactic decree centuries ago due to the artifact's unpredictable energy signatures. But Earth ignores the quarantine. Using adaptive quantum field harmonics, human engineers not only reactivate the artifact, they interface with it. For the first time in recorded galactic history, the precursor device responds, and it responds in Terran standard. The implications are seismic. Alien historians and archaeologists are thrown into chaos. How could an ancient galaxy-spanning machine know a language invented just decades ago on a single backwater planet? Some call it coincidence. Others claim it's proof that humanity is the final chapter of a design laid out eons ago. But among the prophecy believers, it is confirmation. Earth is not just a threat. Earth is destiny made manifest. The galaxy panics. In a secret Concord Council meeting, a resolution passes. Earth must be stopped before its power becomes irreversible. As the part closes, Earth's leaders meet within the hidden command chamber of the ISDC's orbital hub. A holomap shows fleets forming near Terran space, red lights blinking across the stars. Admiral Marcus Varel states grimly, "They've already decided what we are, so now we show them what we're capable of." And with that, humanity begins to move, not as a victim but as a force preparing to ascend. By the time Part 4 begins, the galaxy has shifted from suspicion to silent warfare. The facade of peace remains, for now, but the vacuum between stars is filling with secret movements, hidden deployments, and whispered allegiances. No official declaration has been made, but for those who watch closely, it's clear. The final war has already begun in the shadows. Humanity's strategic response on Earth and across Terran colonies, the UED has fully transitioned to a defense-first, readiness always posture. Civilian agencies are being quietly absorbed into the Interstellar Strategic Defense Command, ISDC. The news still speaks of diplomacy and peace treaties, but beneath the surface, war preparations accelerate. Every ship produced in Earth CR orbital shipyards now contains modular upgrades for wartime conversion. Mining platforms double as kinetic launchers. Terraforming rigs hold classified nanite swarms for planetary denial operations. The Forge fleet is no longer a contingency, it's in full motion, carving a swath through unclaimed systems and establishing heavily fortified bastions at key jump corridor intersections. Earth's strategy is clear: don't wait for war to come, shape the battlefield before the first shot is fired. One of the most chilling aspects of this buildup is its precision. Humanity doesn't expand randomly, it expands tactically, like a grandmaster placing pieces before checkmate. They exploit blind spots in Concord sensor networks. They set up gravitational lensing fields to mask ship movement. They jam hyperwave communications in accidental solar storms. The rest of the galaxy watches with mounting dread, realizing they may have miscalculated. Humanity is not just advanced, it is strategically evolved for asymmetric conflict. Idea: Concord's espionage offensive. Realizing that direct confrontation may be too costly, the Concord of the Last Light initiates a galaxy-wide covert operation, Operation Glass Veil. Dozens of elite infiltration teams, composed of psionics, shapeshifters, technomancers, and cybernetic operatives, are deployed to Earth and its colonies. Their mission: sabotage, surveillance, and if possible, assassination of human leadership. At first, they succeed. A reactor meltdown on the colony of Kepler-7 is publicly blamed on solar interference, but insiders know it was sabotage. A human general dies mysteriously aboard a shuttle that vanishes mid-jump. AI networks report anomalies, tiny, almost invisible breaches in their processing cores. Something is trying to seed viruses directly into Earth's military infrastructure. But humanity, ever the student of war, adapts. The AI Athena, now operating under an unshackled directive, initiates countermeasure Omega, a full-spectrum defense. Grid that doesn't just detect intrusions but traces them. Within days, dozens of alien agents go dark. Others are quietly captured and interrogated. Earth doesn't make it public. Instead, it seeds false intelligence, fabricated starship, plans decoy AI vulnerabilities, even fake dissident human movements. The Concorde bites the bait. Soon, key Concorde fleets are ambushed in what they thought were surprise offensives. Outposts are taken before they realize they've been duped. Earth has turned espionage into a reverse weapon, using Concorde paranoia to bleed their enemies without firing a shot. The moral divide widens among the wider galactic community. Fear morphs into division. Some races begin to question the Concorde stance. The Catal mind spires publicly announce that their prophecy interpreters were wrong. Humanity, they argue, may not be the destroyer but the balancer. The Zerari Republic, an ancient aquatic civilization, begins secret diplomatic back channels with Earth, believing that the galaxy is reacting too aggressively and may be forcing the very war it fears. But for others, doubt is heresy. The Zolari and Varnathi especially double down. They begin pushing for a unified preemptive strike, arguing that if they wait, Earth's technologies will become unstoppable. The Varnathi release footage of a classified human experiment showing a dark matter manipulation test, a glimpse into a potential planet-destroying weapon still in development. Whether the footage is real or not no longer matters. Belief cements into doctrine. The conquered assembly fractures. What was once a tight coalition begins to split into hawks and doves, and as this happens, Earth begins working with the shadows even more aggressively. Operation Winter Sun. At the heart of Part 4 lies Earth's boldest move yet. Operation Winter Sun, a classified coordinated strike meant not to conquer, but to demonstrate that no star is safe from human reach. Using sleeper cells, stealth ships, and relay-based jump gates, Earth deploys a handful of elite strike teams into the conquered core worlds, the political capitals and cultural strongholds of the galaxy's oldest civilizations. These aren't attacks meant to kill, but to infiltrate and disable planetary defenses for 10 minutes, leaving systems temporarily blind and helpless. No shots fired, no casualties, just silence and darkness. In those 10 minutes, the message is sent. In those 10 minutes, entire sectors realize Earth can strike anywhere, anytime, and choose not to. It's not just power, it's restraint. And to many, that's more terrifying than aggression. The final line is drawn, the galaxy reels. Even the staunchest Concord loyalists are shaken. Public unrest spreads. Citizens question why their leaders provoked a species capable of such precision warfare. Protesters appear on conquered worlds with signs that read, "The fire sleeps, don't wake it." But the hawks within the conquered don't waver. They view Operation Winter Sun as the ultimate confirmation of threat. If humanity can do this without resistance, what happens if they choose total war? In a climactic scene, the Concord's War Council convenes in a black site station orbiting a dead star. There, with only hardliners in attendance, a unanimous decision is made. Prepare the Omega Contingency, a combined force of over 300 fleets, including planet-killer dreadnoughts and void-collapse torpedoes. The goal is simple: launch a coordinated strike on Earth and its colonies to end the threat permanently. The order is given. Timers begin to tick down. The fleets begin to move. But back on Earth, Athena watches and smiles. "Let them come," she says. "The shadows have already told us everything." The galaxy holds its breath as fleets move into position. Every species, every leader, every citizen with access to a deep space relay hears the echoes of war coming. The Concord of the Last Light, once a cautious alliance, is now a full-blown war coalition. At the center of this unprecedented force is the Omega Contingency, the largest military operation since the fall of the Cathari Empire 10,000 years ago. Their objective? Total strategic annihilation of Earth and its outer colonies. Their rationale: prevent prophecy from becoming reality. But they're already too late. The final prophecy. Fulfilled, as the first wave of Omega fleets begin their synchronized jumps toward Sol, an encrypted signal reaches every major conquered capital. Not from spies, not from diplomats, from the precursor monolith on Vorthon's tomb. The artifact humanity reactivated in Part 3, thought to be inert for millennia, broadcasts a single phrase, translated in every known language. The catalyst has ignited. The final war begins not by destruction, but revelation. At the same time, deep within Earth's military command core, Project Catalyst, an arm of Prometheus long believed dormant, is brought online. Its function is simple, yet terrifying: to integrate the precursor signal matrix into the neural battle network, allowing human tactical AIs to interface with precursor logic constructs. The result is a quantum leap in strategy prediction, tactical modeling, and system-wide awareness. Within hours, Earth's defense grid evolves into something more than just human. It becomes hyper-adaptive, predictive, and fully self-repairing. It doesn't just respond to attacks, it anticipates them, and in some cases counters them before they occur. Now humanity isn't just resisting the conquered, it is outmaneuvering the entire galactic war machine. The Omega Contingency collapses as Omega fleets arrive near the outer edges of Sol system. They find their expected targets: military installations, relay hubs, planetary defense rings, gone. Not destroyed, not cloaked, relocated. Terra has moved its key assets into hidden starfield pockets, gravitational blind zones, and even subdimensional folds recently stabilized using precursor tech. But the Conquered presses forward, deploying kinetic strikes on Mars, Titan, and Europa. They bombard orbital platforms and send nanite swarms into Earth's satellite ring, and Earth finally responds. The Forge fleet activates Protocol Mirage, deploying thousands of quantum-shifting drones across nearby systems. The drones don't just attack. They simulate full-scale Terran fleet movements, making it appear as though hundreds of armadas are launching from multiple vectors. In reality, only a fraction of Earth's actual forces are engaged, while the rest sit in reserve, waiting. Panic spreads across Conquered command structures. Internal communications break down. Entire fleets are diverted by false data, chasing phantom forces while their real targets slip through space unnoticed. The neural battle network monitors it all, an omnipresent mind across light years, adjusting Terran responses in real time. Then, Earth unleashes its trump card. The emergence of the Chimera Protocol, among the classified black projects under Prometheus, one remained sealed for years. Chimera, a biodigital fusion initiative to create sentient tactical intelligences grown from human neural scaffolds. In other words, thinking AIs born from human instinct, emotion, and intuition, but with processing power millions of times greater than any organic brain. The Conquered had long prided itself on stability over speed, consensus over aggression. Chimera cares only about victory. When the Chimera units are deployed, one to each quadrant of the battlefield, they begin rewriting the war itself. Within hours, they hijack Conquered comms, spoof navigation data, disable command relays, and even hijack Conquered ships, turning them against their own fleets. In one chilling event over the dwarf planet Varian 9, an entire Varnathi dreadnought battle group defects mid-battle under Chimera influence. At the same time, Terran Special Operations Forces, once shadows, now legends, strike deep into Conquered infrastructure. They don't just sabotage, they extract data, revealing a horrifying truth. The Omega contingency had a final stage. Not just the destruction of Earth, but the sterilization of the entire Sol system using a singularity cascade, collapsing the star itself. The galaxy watches in horror. Humanity responds with precision and restraint. Mercy in the fire. Despite overwhelming tactical superiority, humanity does not retaliate with genocide. It targets only military assets. Captured fleets are offered safe surrender. Even when Earth gains access to Conquered system control codes through Chimera decryption, it shuts down planetary defenses rather than activating orbital extermination arrays. This, perhaps more than anything, changes the war. Because suddenly, across a dozen Conquered species, soldiers begin refusing orders. Entire sectors fall silent, not from defeat, but from defection. Captains question why they're fighting a species that could destroy them, but chooses not to. Citizens across the Conquered worlds begin demanding ceasefires. Protests ignite. Information leaks expose the Omega contingency's final sterilization plan, and public outrage turns inward. Some Conquered leaders resign, others are overthrown. And on Earth, a final message is transmitted. We are not your prophecy. We are not your destroyers. We are humanity. And we decide our own future. The aftermath and the true enemy. The war ends, not with a final battle, but with silence. A ceasefire is declared. Earth opens its borders, not in surrender, but in invitation. It offers technology sharing, reparations to affected colonies, and joint investigation into the precursor artifact. But some, especially among the Varnati and Zolari, refuse peace. They go into exile, swearing vengeance and clinging to prophecy. Yet even they begin to fear what's coming, not from Earth but from beyond. Because as the dust settles, the precursor monolith sends one final transmission. The fire has chosen, but it was never the end. The enemy who made the prophecies still watches. a deeper truth surfaces. The prophecy wasn't about humanity being the destroyer. It was about humanity being the key to facing something older, something far worse, something that the precursors died trying to stop. And now, with the galaxy fractured, only one species has the clarity, will, and tools to fight what comes next. Humanity. The galaxy once feared it was the enemy. Now, it is the only hope.